a lot of experience over the last 9 years working there. Sharman has actually set the stage on fire. So I have decided to give him here. And my presentation is quite boring. It's black and white compared to his colorful presence on the stage. So I'd like to make the presentation a little colorful with his presence and valuable comments. First of all, let me start with a question. How many of you have noticed there is a clock in this auditorium? Not 50%, right? There's a clock out.
It's not working.
Whatever, there's a clock. It's a decorative piece. It's not solving the purpose. So that's called a poor design. That's what we call a poor design. Aesthetically, it could be perfect. If it is handed over to you, you can give your fine judgment from your whatever creative background you have, that this is a very nice piece and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's not serving the purpose. That's we call a poor design. So why designers fail and what to do about it? First, we all know that we fail in life in different aspects. And we always say that learning from mistake, learning from mistake. That's why we are taught in that way, that learning from mistake is such a big thing. But if I ask you, where you actually failed, you might not be able to justify, understand or identify exactly where you actually failed and what is the reason behind it. So these are the kind of symptoms or rather manifestations from which you can probably understand that you have failed as a designer. I'm strictly talking about design angle from the design perspective, and these are the points where you can actually think. The first point is the website app fails as a product, which is the most important thing in my perspective. Your client might be very happy, your colleagues are proud of you, your boss is super happy, but at the end of the day, the application, the website that you have designed has failed as a product. So the design has failed. The second point is client is not satisfied with the result. Since I am from the service background and I am working mainly with the clients directly, not working on any product or anything like that. So from my angle, client satisfaction is very important, because at the end of the day, they are paying me for whatever I'm getting at this moment. Sharman was talking about, just forget that client, but being in service industry, I understand it's very difficult to say no to a client because it means business. So what we generally do, I'm not very conversant with the local market, but what we generally do is we have a set questionnaire where we actually have color palettes as well, where client can actually point to, this is the color combination I prefer overall, and we can make the design around it. I know, there are problematic people, but problematic people are everywhere. There's no point discussing about that. So this is the second point. You have to make the client satisfied. This is the second point. The third point is design fails to inspire the other designers. At the end of the day, what you are producing, what you are leaving on your desk, has to inspire the other people in the same domain, your peer, your colleague, your boss, the juniors as well. So that's very, very important. Whatever you're producing, that should inspire the other designers. And fourth point, you are not proud of the design that you have produced today. Because sometimes what we do, we get very much influenced by some design sometimes, and what we exactly call a copy. And just paste it over there. Might be my juniors, my colleagues are not that familiar with those websites and they just take it as a very good design. But at the end of the day, I know I have copied it from somewhere. I am over-influenced by something. So that's not something what we call a good design. Next slide, please. This is very important thing, but why designers fail? I'll just touch it briefly. One is this lack of subject knowledge. I have seen this in designers for many years actually. Don't take me wrong, all the designers friends over here, but what I feel is that design is the only domain in IT, or rather in this knowledge industry, where you can earn your living without reading a single book. Because if you know a bit of Photoshop from institution, a bit of HTML from your colleague, and you can create a underscore good looking design, that's all. But this is, I think, designer community is most uneducated community, if I can say. It's a fact. We have to accept it to overcome it. First of all, the lack of project understanding. Designers have a fascination, or rather kind of pride that we are a creative person, as Sharma said. And what we do generally, I mean, we just don't care about the project. What is this project is going to do actually finally. And what we all care about, I mean, what I feel about this project. My understanding, my vision, and I just create the design as it, and it looks exactly like what I have seen a couple of days back. I am over influenced with something. Maybe I am very much happy with the interface of Facebook, and I am creating an application design. I create the design exactly look like Facebook. So that's called over influence, and that's lack of project understanding. The third point is unable to find the problem to solve. Design is problem solving. We all know that. I mean, that's the key point of having design. But as a designer, first you have to identify what is the problem to be solved. As I said, I mean, this referring to this clock, that there's a clock, but it doesn't serve the purpose. So that's the design is unable to find the problem to be solved. Thinking of design as an art form. Again, Sharman said this very well. I think there's no point discussing about that once again. But the design we are talking about is mainly about the communication, mainly about the transaction. It's just not about the art. It's not something, you're not creating a painting. Then you can create a wallpaper and just hang on your wall. But you cannot have a website designed just like a wallpaper, think from the same perspective. So designers generally fail in this area. Now, as Jasonpreet of 37 Signals said, I mean, I quite agree with this. I mean, very much. The learning from failure is overrated. We always say this: learn from your mistake, learn from your mistake. But what you learn from your mistake is what not to do next time. It doesn't teach you what to do next time. You have to actually learn from your success. Whatever, I mean, might be the color combination was good, client preferred the color combination, you take that out from there. You know what worked, and you should repeat that, you should improve on that actually. So that's learning from failure is often overrated. So I would suggest that you learn from your success, not your failure. Now I'm coming straight to some tips that I want to share with you all for creating a good design. Design sales, that's what generally sales. I mean, whenever you are going to buy something, be it an electronic gadget or a website or anything like that, you would always go by the look, right? When you fall in love with somebody, you first go by the look, then you judge the intellect or anything like that. So first, you have to understand the look. By look, I mean the usability, the functionalities that is coming over, the overall presentation of the thing, that matters a lot. And a customer who is going to buy something is only bothered about how it works. They are not concerned about what is running behind, what is actually going behind the interface.